I do believe that this team has enough overall talent, position by position, to be a World Series champion. It's just really a matter of whether they can play the best baseball they can at the right time.
Ruben Amaro Jr. is here, but I'm going to let Todd Father introduce him.
Nice. Ruben Amaro, ex-Mets coach. I mean, this guy's been doing it all. A GM. I mean, this guy, entrepreneur. I mean, you want me to keep going?
Star of the Phillies show, part of the FT
Phillies
Network.
Show. I got my first question to you is, do you miss the Mets?
I do not. No,
Set a man up.
I can't.
Set a man up.
Not even a little. I'm actually really back. Really enjoy being back with the Phillies organization, and it's been a joy, really, for the last 4 or 5 years now on broadcast. It's been pretty special. Yeah, I've enjoyed it, and doing some of the MLB stuff too.
Why don't you miss the Mets with Todd Father?
I missed the Todd Father.
Okay.
He was
Okay.
a joy. He was fun to be with. He was fun to be around. There was no question about it. Fun teammate, good guy to be around. One of the leaders on that team for a while. That we didn't have a whole lot of direction.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, wasn't. And we should have had an unbelievable pitching staff, and part of it was all right, but God, it should have been better.
It should have been.
Right.
And I want to get this out of the way first. We talk about, had the thumbs down with the Yankees, and then the Mets came over, and everybody thought I was the originator of the salt and pepper shaker, but you were actually the originator of that thing in spring training.
Well, part of it. Well, I mean, we were trying to set the culture, right?
We were.
And we were trying to make, these guys understand like what team play was about. And after every single game, we would, in the spring training, we try to like honor those guys and give them like, little trinkets, a little something to, gift certificates if they did something of quality, and there was a couple of different things that they could do, and I think Todd was the one that actually was starting to get on some guys. There was a couple of different massage things. There was some Starbucks stuff.
I never won one, by the way. That's why I got frustrated.
Not out of effort.
Yeah, thank you. I'll take it.
Just skill, just out of skill.
But for whatever reason, every time they got a knock, all of a sudden it was about
let's shake it up a little bit. Let's shake it up. That's all. That was it, man. I appreciated that, man. They made some good shirts and.
Oh, that's right. I still have one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody made some good money on
Just
that.
shake it all up.
Sure.
Everybody needed something. That's all.
And you guys have that connection because you're twins.
Little salt and pepper, man.
Your birthday twins. You guys have that connection. Your birthday twins.
February 12th?
No, I didn't know that.
Not the
Honest Abe.
Look at that.
Hey, Blinken.
Wow.
Yes.
Right.
Dude, give
How
me
about
something.
that? That's right.
It's
Right
incredible.
before spring training.
You know
Right.
what?
So
You know
nice.
how I live. I'll
That's
take
why
a
we're
bottle
here.
of
That's why
Johnny
we're
Walker
here.
Blue when you're ready. That's all I need.
That's right before pitchers and catchers
That's
usually.
incredible. I
That's
didn't know.
unbelievable. Yeah,
That's
we
amazing.
always had the pre-season meetings. Almost every single year is right on my birthday.
Wow.
You got just absolutely
Blitz.
I would always leave.
drunk for the preseason meeting.
No, I didn't.
I would always leave right after the birthday. And then Valentine's game, I'd be like, honey, sorry, I'm leaving the 13th. I got to go.
That's why I always said baseball wants to ruin your marriage.
Absolutely.
Because they're like, when should spring training start? February 15th? Not a chance. We are starting it on the 13th or 14th.
Isn't
The
it
one
amazing?
day of love, and they're taking it
Oh,
from you.
man.
Well,
Every
Hallmark's got to get a sponsorship. Otherwise, no, they're not getting it.
Oh, man.
I mean, just out.
Good point.
Yeah.
Birthday twins. Not this for FT fans. While Ruben looks good and Todd is kind of since he's been playing.
Wow. That ain't
Not
There
the
we
same
go.
year. Not the same year, okay?
Here
Yeah.
we go.
Not the same year.
We
I just wanna
we
make
had
sure
some
everybody
fun,
knew.
dog. That's
Yeah.
all that matters.
All right, so what's up with the Phils right now? What did you think of Castellanos getting thrown at the other day with that really hard-throwing changeup from Musetta? I mean, 96 plus.
Sort of silly.
Wow.
But listen, I totally agree with like sending messages, and I understand that. And like if a guy's hot and you want to sort of back him off the plate or do that sort of thing. Sadly, in this day and age, a lot of the pitchers don't have the command to be able to do that, and they're throwing so hard that it makes it even more dangerous. In this instance, however, I don't think that this guy was trying to send a message. I think this guy was actually pissed off.
Yeah.
And he just decided, you know what? I'm pissed off because I'm getting knocked around there, knocking my ass around. So now I'm going to throw at somebody, and that's not right. It's just not right. I don't think that there's a time and a place for certain things, and that's certainly not one of them. And on top of the fact that I think it ended up being his hardest pitch he threw all season, and then dropped the old changeup on it. Right, that was a changeup. Now, no, sir, it's not a changeup. And you try to hit the man, and you could have hurt him. And that's just not right.
And he got hit. What? Didn't he get hit a couple nights prior to? He's been getting plunked quite a bit.
Yeah, Castellanos actually been getting hit quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
last night too.
And I think people try to run the ball in on him and try to make him chase the breaking ball away, which he's been susceptible to, although not as much lately. And one of the reasons why he's having so much more success now. But Casty has been outstanding for the Phillies. He has really picked him up. When they went south for about 2 months, he was like the one guy sort of carrying them. And he continues to have big base hits for him. I think he likes the bright lights. He likes the big moment, and that's big for them because it really lengthens out their lineup, especially with Bohm being down. He slides into the 4-hole now behind Harper, so they still have protection for him. Harper otherwise doesn't have a lot of protection. That was one of the big issues in the beginning of the year, like who's going to protect the dude. And Alec Bohm ended up having a great start to the season, so that helped. But then when Boehmer went down, Casty just slid in there and helped to protect. Obviously, and you've been there, and you guys have all been there. Like, if you don't have anybody hitting behind you, you're not going to get a lot of pitches. And right now, that's one of the reasons why I think Harp's getting having a lot of success too, because he's getting pitches to hit.
Now, I want to stay on that topic because this time of year, I argue that Philly might have the best fans in baseball, especially this time of year, right? The way they rally behind their team. You see I think they're opening up the gates 2 hours early to get fans in the building. Like they understand it. They understand how to get the fans involved. A moment like that, I looked at it also as you're about to get these guys to rally together, because the way these guys rally behind each other, you can really see how close these guys, those guys are. Do you think that's going to help them going down the final stretch of the season to just give them a little boost of energy with no JT, who will be back, no Alec? I think, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's a very close-knit team as it is, and I think this makes it even that much more close-knit just because I know that this is one of those teams, even though they've come from like a lot of different organizations, a lot of these guys, typically when you have this kind of camaraderie in the team, it comes from like the core players that come through the system. In this case, it's guys that came from outside the system. I mean, you got Schwarber, you got JT, they're all free agent guys. And they, Dombrowski and others who are not all free agent, but from other organizations. The fact that these guys have galvanized and really become really close is a credit to the front offices. It's a credit to Rob Thompson. As the manager, I think it's a credit to the players themselves because they genuinely like being around each other on and off the field, whether they're golfing or they're having a beverage or whatever the case may be. I think that they really enjoy like just being around each other, and these kind of moments I think help sort of galvanize things because like if it's like you're messing with one of your own, like it's one of your family. I'm not going to mess with my family because I got 26, 28, 30 other guys at my, who have my back. And I think that's an important element of what the Phillies have brought to the table pretty much all year long and in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think they've done a great job. No staff of character. They've done a good job of bringing in the right. You said it when you came up here. How's the personalities?
Yeah.
They've done a great job of not just looking at the numbers, but trying to put good character together for sure.
No question about it. No question.
You've been around Harper. This just popped up when you said standing up for your guys. To me, it was awesome. He stood up for Costi. He was pissed. He was out at second base on that play. He said after the game, though, had he turned around, things would have been different. Could that have changed the entire complexion of their playoff season? Or do you think that was more just posturing and it was just something that Harper actually wasn't going – because he took on Strickland back in the day.
He's not afraid to go get after it. I would have hoped, and I think he did the right thing by sort of slowing down. He was just basically just yelling at the guy, like, hey, trying to get his attention. My hope is that if he would have turned around, obviously, tempers get hot. You never know. Sometimes you black out. You don't really think about, when you're really angry. I mean, you get thrown at, and somebody. I mean, I've only had it to happen to me like maybe once or twice where I blacked out and went to go get a pitcher because I thought he was throwing at me. I got drilled. But I would hope that he would not have gone heavy at him. But you just don't know, because in the heat of the moment, you react different ways. I know he's matured a lot as a person and as a player. The fact that he didn't rush at him, I think that was a really good thing, because he could have been suspended, and who knows what would have happened after that. I mean, I know you just don't want those things to happen. I get that he should have got heated. They should have gotten mad, and he did protect him, I think, sort of in the right way.
Let me ask you this. So sticking with the Phillies, who is in their way? I mean, I feel like the Phillies have one of the best chances, if not any other team in the National League. I'll let you harp on that a little bit. This team, they're really good, and they're getting their troops back in too as well. Who's that team right now? It's like, all right, well, this is the team we got to beat to get to the World Series at least.
Yeah, I would have to say, if there was a kryptonite team for them, it would have to be the D-backs, just because of the way they handled them and how they played against them lately. I mean, it's one of those teams that they don't seem to match up well against. They're so athletic. They create a lot of things, and they executed so well in the NLCS last year. They sort of know how to get them out, and it's been a little bit of a kryptonite for them. But I do believe this in my heart of hearts, that the Phillies are, pound for pound and player for player, probably the most complete team. Just when you start thinking about all the pieces, like everybody's got warts, right? Everybody's got, no team is perfect. But I do believe that this team has enough overall talent, position by position, to be a World Series champion. It's just really a matter of whether they can play the best baseball they can at the right time. I mean, we all have seen it. Some of the best teams in baseball don't get there, and it's really about execution, a lot of luck, and really, having to, somehow getting enough pitching to make the ball roll the right way for you.
Pop quiz, AJ. What is America's #1 meal kit?
That would be HelloFresh, Scott, and it even works for picky eaters like you. There's an ever-changing menu of 50 recipes to choose from each week. So just select your meals and delivery date, and voila!
Yeah, home-cooked meals just hit different. The recipes are easy to follow with pre-portioned ingredients delivered fresh. Just choose that delivery day, open your box, cook, and eat. It's so easy, Kratz.
Agreed. With FT every day and my coaching job, I don't have time to search recipes all night, and also spending money on a whole jar of spices for only a pinch? Nah, I'm good. My family gets more of me because I don't have to take a last-minute trip to the grocery store at night to find dinner.
Ready for this? For free breakfast for life, go to HelloFresh.com/free FT. One free breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life just by going to HelloFresh.com/FREEFT.
They have 16 more games left. There is concern about Schwarber's elbow. There's concern about Bohm coming back, JT coming back, Harper's wrist. If you watch games, you see his swings kind of he's hitting the ball well. He's not driving it. Right. Of those 4 injuries, if one does not heal up completely, which is the most concerning?
To me, it's JT. It's always a catcher. I think the catching position, and I'm sure you would say this, it's probably the most important position on the field. I believe they could probably survive with 1 or 2 of the guys not being around, but JT is just too damn important. He brings so much to the table as a leader. He brings so much to the table. He's grown in leaps and bounds since I've seen him in Miami, and just calling a game and running a game. I know he's always been like a hard ass and like a tough guy and all that, and a great athlete, but he's become a better and better catcher over the years, just handling the pitching staff, doing all the other things that are necessary to carry the team. And I know Harper's an important guy. I know Schwarber's super important as well at the leadoff spot. But if I was going to lose one guy or not want to lose one guy, it'd be JT for me.
Mm-hmm. Love it. I got one more for you. Do you feel, I'm going to simplify the question for myself, really. Do you feel like some front offices are too calculated and nerdy these days? Because you're part of an organization that has one of the legendary gunslingers in a front office, and he's been doing it for a long time. And I feel like he's not the only one, but he is a part of the GMs that run laps around others who try to sound smart and say the same terms over and over again. And it really works for a few, right, that they all look up to. Like an Andrew Friedman is brilliant, and he's done a great job in multiple spots. But there are many that talk like him, and they're not that good. They don't walk the walk.
Yeah, you're sort of teeing it up for me. My issue with baseball just in general is that we've forgotten the true fundamentals of the game. What is the most important thing? Pitching, running the bases properly, and catching the baseball. If you can do those three things well, I think that you have a chance to win pretty much every single night. And your talent level obviously is going to be different with each team. But I just feel like the actual fundamentals of the game, those never go away. They're pillars, right? And those are the most important pieces of it. And my feeling is, if you really wanted to be a great GM or front office man right now, go back to those, because you're going to compete every single day. You can slice the numbers up as much as you want, but if you can do those three things well, consistently, you got a chance to be, really, you can have a chance to compete every single day. And what my understanding is, and just having talked to scouts over the years about what's going on in the game today, is that those things they're not teaching them at the minor league level anymore. They're allowing the college teams to do it, and they're not really emphasizing that with the people that are there to do those jobs. They're teaching them where to stand on the field. They're not; those guys aren't learning where to stand on the field. They're all the things that we learned and by trial and error as players, that doesn't exist anymore. They're basically telling every single person where to go and how to play and where to swing and how to swing. And that's not baseball. Baseball it's athletic. You're supposed to be an athlete. You're supposed to learn and understand the game. And there's so much stuff to learn to in order to be a great baseball player. And I don't think we're building great baseball players. We're building really, really good athletes, and they're great athletes, man. They're unbelievable. It just saddens me that they don't play the game the way the game should be played. And there's so many teams that can have success. Look at the Cleveland Indians or Cleveland Guardians. Excuse me, I say Indians because I was an Indian. But, they just play the game right. You look at the talent level on the team. They're talented guys. They're not the most talented, and yet they play the game right. I mean, Tito set that program going for a long time, and Stephen Vokes continued it. And there's just certain teams that just play the game right, and they gives them chance. Tampa Bay Rays have been playing great baseball. People talk about the Rays being, super advanced in analytics. Well, the reality of it is they actually teach their guys how to play baseball, and they play baseball really well. They just can't hold on to them because they don't have the money to be able to hold on to their players. But but my issue is, if you teach the game the way it's supposed to be played, you've got a chance to run circles around some of the people who no longer do that and think that the game should be played some other different way.
And to button up what you're saying, remember with the Mets, I was kind of like in 17 or what it was, 18, whatever it was, they used to hand out sheets about the analytics. Hey, this. Do you remember what I used to? I used to like, man, here you go. I'm good. I used to throw back at him.
So this is true story. So when I was coaching with Boston, we didn't have cards, but I had sheets, and so I would study the hitters and watch each one of their tendencies, and I would make up sheets, and I would hand it to Mookie Betts and to Jackie Bradley and to Andrew Benintendi, and I would just tell Jackie, you can throw this damn thing in the trash because I know you know where to play. And I'm not going to move you all unless there's something drastic I see. Same thing with Mookie. I said, you guys take these and stick them, throw them right in the trash. Because, I felt like it was important for me to give them the information, but it's really important for them to know the game well enough to be able to understand the pitchers and the hitters well enough to be able to place themselves. And that's what I miss about the game, because that's part of being, a professional athlete is knowing your position and how to play it and, where to be at the right time. And so I just wanted to mention that as well, because I love coaching those guys because they knew what the hell they were doing.
I hated those damn cards. Excuse me, I hated those cards.
I think it's awful.
Especially when I got a sinker guy, he can't find it. Like, what about reading what he's doing on the mound?
And if you're in center field like you are, you can see whether the guy. I mean, you can see this guy. He can't throw a pitch on this side of the plate. So why am I going to play this guy to pull or whatever the case may be?
Because the card says so.
Yeah,
there's a few guys that need it. They don't know where to play.
Yeah, some guys do.
It's for those younger cats coming up.
Some need the Google Maps. Hey, this is how you get to your destination. Yeah. Otherwise, you're lost.
But they should be. Those are things that they should have learned through the minor leagues.
Yeah.
And I know everybody's getting developed at the major league level now because everybody's getting thrown to the big leagues quickly. But that said, these are all things that they should have been taught and should be, being taught all the time. And the good ones and the good staffs and some great staffs in the major leagues. I love Atlanta's staff. I always have.
Yep.
They're fantastic. I love the Phillies staff. These guys teach the game of baseball, and I think it's really, really important.
Yeah, I love that. Well, great to see you. Obviously, you can hear much more from Ruben, all the places that you talked about, but I'm going to favor the Philly show since I listen to that and watch that with him and Jim Salisbury and Todd Zalecki. There, here, watch Ruben. Look, have you seen this promo? Because we get the point.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Every time I see the promo, I think Ruben, my boss, who fired me.
Oh, like you're
and
fired.
He's pointing at me. He's like,
"I fired you.
Yeah,
you never are good at hitting sliders, but I've seen you eat a lot of sliders."
That was
good
good.
way to put
That
it.
was really
I
good.
did a lot of bad firing.
Well, that's our pickup. We'll take Kratz, but take this show, give it a subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your pods. We'll be right back.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.